I don't usually go live on YouTube, but here I am. Today I turned 39, and I'm not chasing youth, not chasing legacy, just claiming the truth. And so this year, I don't need to be louder. I need to be clearer. I don't need to be busier. I need to be bolder. I don't need to be everywhere. I need to be exactly where I am. And I feel like I've just outgrown the pressure to prove or to perform or to please, and my currency is clarity. So my wealth is peace, and my power is already anchored. So this is the year I let the soft life I let the soft life be strong, and the free life be focused, and the quiet life be wildly loud in results. I'm doing a lot of reflection, and I just realized that I have lived long enough to know I'm not for everyone, and that's okay. I'm building for those who want help in building a sovereign life, and those who travel really light but move mountains, and those who are willing to undergo, I don't know if I want to call it a transformation, or it's really more like a connection, a reconnection to the inner self. And anyway, the point is I'm 39 and I'm just getting started, so yeah. That is where I'm at. Actually, where I'm at is right here in Amsterdam in the Netherlands. So we are in the park, and it is great. And here we are. Here we be. But yeah, it's a really interesting time to be alive. There's, when you think of what is nearly 40 years compared to the average, what is it, 80 something? That's midlife, halfway there. And I like to believe, when you think about where you want to be in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, that you're already on track to that. And I realize that so much of that is mental. Like, how much mental depth do you have? And is this where you want to stop? Like, I can't really understand why anyone wouldn't want to... Gosh, actually, I realize that I'm probably... Oh gosh, this is horrible. I have to put these on, otherwise you're just not going to hear me. I think that the volume is coming from here. Maybe not. Maybe there's just a bunch of wind and chaos and craziness. But anyway, we are here live. And but yeah, I was saying, I wonder how much... I refuse to believe that there's not yet a lot to learn. Hello, if you think you have arrived, if you think that you know it all, if you think that 40 years nearly into your life is enough to know what's coming, I would just ask if you are living in La La Land. You know what I mean? You can actually jump in, Shankar. I think I have I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe he's doing something right now. But it's absurd. It's crazy to me to think that, we're kind of really, and this is very human of us, and I just assume nobody is watching this and there won't be anybody who looks at the playback. I don't really care. I'm just going to give my full opinion, which is that we are really, really arrogant. You think that you've gone 40 some odd years in your life and you know everything. The truth is you have no idea what is to come, not just in your own personal life, but in the world, in the economy, also just, in terms of general safety and politics and economics and even education. That affects all of us, because the people that are going to be serving us, the people who are going to be creating businesses, the business owners, the ones who are in charge of the future, the leaders of the future, you have no idea what that's going to really look like. And I think we all we've all lived a certain number of years in our lives, and it dictates our entire worldview. But the funny thing is, I was listening to Eckhart Tolle um, the other day, and he mentioned something along the lines of you don't know what the past is because you've never lived it. The past doesn't exist. You've never experienced it. And yet here we are, framing our entire worldview, which is absolutely human and normal, off of the past. We have no clue what the future is going to bring. Absolutely not a clue. Not for better, not for worse, not for the same. And I say all that to say, like, obviously I'm very contemplative right now, and I'm just reflecting on my years of living, nearly 40 years now. Well, yeah, nearly 40 years on this earth. And just how, like, I know I'm not a young spring chicken anymore. Um, but it's kind of a drop in the bucket based on, like, okay, yeah, so it is presumably a little half-ish of my life, but there's a whole another half of my life that I'm so excited about because I like adventure and I like trying new things. And the future, yeah, we have an idea. At the same time, we have no idea. And so to think that my best days are over or the heyday has come and gone, I feel like is very presumptuous and almost selfish of me to think that life in all of its abundance doesn't have more to offer. And I think it's really easy to get kind of caught up in the today, the here and now. Um, or I could always turn it on its head too and say that the opposite can also be true, where we're just so sure that that the future is going to be better than it is now. And we have no idea. It could be much worse. And I think the truth is both exist. I think in many ways our Earth is obviously being depleted of its resources, and unless we turn it around, it's going to die. That's a fact. We know this. Um, but I also believe in innovation, and if you've been looking at anything for any amount of time in the news, you will see that AI and automation are going to play a key role in the development of our future Earth. And having said all of that, I think obviously in personal development, life advice, and emotional support, and all of those things are going to just increase and get better. I think even in understanding ourselves and one another, our family, our friends, and also other cultures, other people, other um, people from other countries that have completely different ways of life. And if we're smart, we'll just pause and realize this earth is so big and so vast. What if the way that I am defining my purpose, I saw a headline even where, and I have to watch this, I'll just be very transparent. I haven't seen the video, but I did see a headline of Barack Obama saying, everybody thinks AI is coming for their jobs, but the truth is AI is coming for their purpose. AI is coming for your purpose. And if we just take a little bit to unpack what that means, we would first start with the definition of what purpose is. There's dharma, there's purpose, there's many, it's been around for a very, like, since the inception of the earth, humankind, what is purpose? And if you just start there and you don't, yeah, you can give some general vague answer that anyone could subscribe to, but I think the real question is, do you know your own purpose? And if you feel like you have to have a certain, me included, if I feel like I have to have a certain set of conditions to fulfill my purpose, I would argue that I don't really know what it is. Because I think purpose is so independent of your circumstances that you could fulfill it just being alive and being willing. And that life and the universe will find a way to have all of that fall in line because it's literally your purpose. So I would believe if you're very committed, woo, I'd like to believe that if you're very committed to solving problems and you do your best at what you're good at, um, you're already going in the right direction. When you're solving problems that maybe only you can do or you can do the best. Granted, you have to obviously like that because sometimes people are good at stuff and they hate it. That doesn't mean I don't believe that you should pursue that. I think that you should find yourself on the track of doing something that you love that solves a problem. And that's one clue to your purpose. There's lots of components and there's lots of different theories and models and philosophies around how to tackle that and then mix it with goals and all of this kind of stuff. But in general, I think that a lot of what we do should be independent of circumstances and just based on what you are absolutely passionate about, what you're good at. And not to confuse passion for purpose, because sometimes passion wanes. You may be passionate about something, maybe passionate about a lover, and then they're not in your lives in like a few months, like, or the same about um, a major. You land yourself in a completely different position, or okay, sure, game on. Let me